Let's get right to it. Your energy is your power, and too many of you are giving it away, not because you want to, but because you've been programmed to. You've been told that being kind to everyone makes you a good person. But what if I told you that's the very thing keeping you stuck? Every time you extend kindness to someone who doesn't appreciate it, you leak energy. Every time you say yes when your soul is screaming no, you weaken yourself. And every time you overextend, thinking it makes you valuable, you reinforce a subconscious belief that your worth is tied to how much you give, when in reality, your worth was never up for debate. Think about the people in your life. How many of them are there because they respect and uplift you? And how many are there because you've made it easy for them to take from you? It's time to ask yourself a tough question. Are you being kind, or are you being compliant? There's a biological cost to people pleasing. When you constantly suppress your truth to maintain harmony, your nervous system stays in survival mode. Your body interprets this as a threat, releasing stress hormones, depleting your energy, and shutting down the very creative power you need to build the life you desire. You've been conditioned to believe that putting yourself first is selfish, but tell me, how can you pour into others when you're running on empty? The truth is, you're not supposed to be kind to everyone. You're supposed to be wise about where you invest your energy. This is about rewriting the program, the one that tells you that if you stop overgiving, you'll be alone, the one that convinces you that saying no makes you a bad person. Those are just old codes running in your subconscious, keeping you in a loop of exhaustion and resentment. So how do you break free? You master your emotional state. You stop allowing other people's expectations to dictate your actions. You realize that every yes you give out of obligation is a no to yourself. And most importantly, you understand that kindness, when given selectively, is far more powerful than kindness given indiscriminately. Because when you stop being kind to everyone, you don't become cold. You become intentional. You start giving from a place of strength, not from lack. You stop seeking approval and start radiating self-respect. And in doing so, you magnetize the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. So tonight I challenge you, take your power back. Choose where your kindness goes. Say no when it serves you, and watch how your life transforms. Your energy is your currency. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take, it all costs you something. The question is, are you investing it wisely, or are you giving it away to things and people that deplete you? We've been taught that kindness is free, that it doesn't cost anything to be nice, but that's a lie. Every time you engage with someone, you make a transaction. If that interaction leaves you drained, you've just paid a price. And if you do this repeatedly, you'll wake up one day emotionally bankrupt, wondering why you feel exhausted, resentful, or stuck. Most people don't realize how much of their energy they spend on maintaining relationships, conversations, and commitments that do nothing but pull them further from who they are meant to be. They say yes when they mean no. They tolerate behavior that chips away at their self-worth. They keep people around out of obligation, not alignment. And the result? They walk through life depleted, running on fumes, never fully stepping into their potential. Your energy is meant to be exchanged, not exploited. You wouldn't throw your money at everyone who asks for it, so why do you throw your energy at anyone who demands your attention? Not everyone deserves your kindness. Not everyone is entitled to your time. When you start treating your energy like the valuable currency it is, you stop wasting it on things that don't serve you. You stop overextending. You stop justifying. You stop living for the comfort of others and start living for the growth of yourself. This is not about being unkind, it's about being intentional. Kindness given from depletion is not kindness, it's self-sacrifice. And if you have to betray yourself to be nice, that is far too high a price to pay. Boundaries are not just psychological concepts. They are deeply biological. Your body, your nervous system, and even your brain chemistry respond to how well or how poorly you enforce them. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, your body registers it as stress. Your heart rate increases, cortisol floods your system, and your body shifts into survival mode. Think about that for a moment. Your physiology does not lie. When you betray your own boundaries, your body reacts as if you are in danger, because in a way, you are. You are putting yourself in a situation where your needs are ignored, your energy is drained, and your sense of self is compromised. Over time, this chronic stress rewires your brain. It makes you more anxious, more reactive, and less in control of your emotion. You become stuck in a pattern where your well-being is constantly sacrificed for the comfort of others. But the moment you start enforcing boundaries, everything changes. Your nervous system begins to regulate, your body shifts out of survival mode and into a state of balance. Your energy levels rise because you are no longer leaking power to people who don't respect you. Your mind becomes clearer, your confidence strengthens, and your emotional resilience grows. The truth is, boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They don't shut people out, they let the right people in. They don't make you selfish, they make you self-respecting. And most importantly, they signal to your brain and body that you matter. When you start setting boundaries, your biology follows. Your stress levels drop, your nervous system resets, and your body finally learns what safety feels like, not because you are pleasing everyone around you, but because you are protecting yourself. Kindness and compliance may look the same on the surface, but they come from entirely different places. Kindness is a choice rooted in strength, while compliance is a reflex driven by fear. When you are truly kind, you give from a place of abundance, expecting nothing in return. But when you comply, when you say yes, just to avoid conflict, discomfort, or rejection, you are not being kind. You are being controlled. Many people mistake compliance for kindness, because they've been conditioned to believe that making others comfortable is more important than honoring their own needs. They've been taught that saying no makes them difficult, that setting boundaries makes them rude, and that prioritizing themselves is selfish. But what they don't realize is that every time they comply at the expense of their own well-being, they chip away at their self-respect. True kindness requires the ability to say no just as easily as you say yes. It means recognizing when giving is genuine and when it is driven by guilt or obligation. It means understanding that being liked by everyone is not the goal. Being authentic is. When you stop complying just to keep the peace, you start operating from a place of power. Your words carry more weight, your actions have more meaning, and the people who remain in your life are those who truly respect you. Compliance may keep you safe in the short term, but it comes at a long-term cost: resentment, exhaustion, and a life that does not feel like your own. Kindness, on the other hand, is a conscious act of self-respect. It is given where it is deserved, not where it is demanded. And when you choose kindness over compliance, you stop being a servant to others' expectations and start becoming the master of your own life. Your subconscious mind is a powerful machine, running programs you didn't consciously choose. From childhood, you were taught how to behave, how to interact, and how to be accepted. You learned that being agreeable got you approval, that pleasing others made you feel safe, and that putting yourself last somehow made you good. But what if that program is the very thing keeping you small? Most people live their entire lives running an outdated subconscious script, one that tells them they must always be available, always be agreeable, always be nice. They don't realize that this program was installed by parents, teachers, culture, or past experiences, and it operates on autopilot, dictating how they respond to the world. This is why so many people feel drained, unfulfilled, and resentful. They are living according to a set of unconscious rules that were never designed for their empowerment. Breaking the subconscious program starts with awareness. You have to recognize the patterns that are keeping you trapped. Do you say yes automatically even when you don't want to? Do you overextend yourself to earn validation? Do you feel guilt when you set boundaries? These are signs of an old program running in the background. Once you see it, you can change it. You can start questioning every impulse that leads you to betray yourself. You can replace automatic compliance with conscious choice. You can rewrite the script, installing new beliefs that serve you rather than drain you. The moment you do this, you shift from being a passive participant in your life to an active creator of it. Breaking free from this programming doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you start caring about yourself first. It means you no longer allow outdated beliefs to dictate your actions. And it means you step into a life where your choices are no longer reactions, but deliberate expressions of who you truly are. Your emotional state is the foundation of your reality. If you don't master it, someone else will. Every day you are exposed to people and situations that try to pull you out of alignment. Guilt tripping, manipulation, unexpected challenges, or even just the energy of those around you. And if you're not in control of your emotions, you will react instead of respond. You will give away your power without even realizing it. Most people let their emotions run them. They get frustrated, they feel guilty, they feel obligated, and then they act from those emotions instead of from clarity. They say yes when they mean no. They allow themselves to be drained because they don't want to upset anyone. They let someone else's bad mood dictate their own. This is not kindness, this is emotional slavery. Mastering your emotional state means becoming aware of your triggers and reclaiming the power to choose how you feel. It means recognizing when guilt, fear, or obligation is controlling your actions and learning to pause before reacting. It means training yourself to stay centered no matter what energy someone else brings into the room. You do this by creating space between the trigger and your response. Instead of immediately reacting, you take a breath. Instead of absorbing other people's emotions as your own, you observe them without attachment. Instead of letting someone guilt you into compliance, you remind yourself that their emotions are their responsibility, not yours. The moment you stop letting external forces dictate your inner state, everything changes. You stop making decisions out of fear. You stop apologizing for protecting your peace. And most importantly, you begin to operate from a place of strength rather than reaction. This is true power, the ability to stand firm in your energy no matter what chaos surrounds you. When you master your emotions, you master your life. Not everyone deserves your generosity. That may sound harsh, but it's the truth. Your time, energy, and kindness are valuable resources, and when you give them away indiscriminately, you dilute their impact. The world has taught you that being generous means giving to everyone, but real generosity is not about spreading yourself thin. It's about being intentional with who and what you invest in. Generosity should never come at the cost of your well-being. Many people give endlessly, hoping it will earn them love, respect, or validation, but giving from a place of depletion is not generosity. It's self-sacrifice. If you pour into people who take advantage of you, who drain you, who never reciprocate, you are not being kind. You are allowing yourself to be used. Selective generosity means recognizing that not everyone is worthy of your energy. It means giving to those who appreciate it, not those who expect it. It means setting boundaries not as a form of rejection, but as a way to ensure that what you give is meaningful and impactful. When you choose where your generosity flows, you stop feeling exhausted and start feeling empowered. This isn't about withholding kindness, it's about directing it wisely. A river that flows everywhere becomes a flood, but a river that is channeled becomes a powerful force. The same applies to your energy. When you stop giving to everyone out of obligation and start giving with intention, you strengthen your impact, you protect your peace, you create space for the right people and opportunities to come into your life. And in doing so, you elevate not just yourself, but the quality of the connections and contributions you make to the world. Take your power back. Stop being kind to everyone. I want you to take a moment and think about all the times you've said yes when you really meant no. Think about the moments when you put someone else's comfort above your own truth. When you gave your time, energy, or kindness, not because you wanted to, but because you felt you had to. Now ask yourself, how much of your life have you given away trying to be nice to everyone? We've been conditioned to believe that kindness is always the answer, that saying yes makes us good people, that self-sacrifice is a virtue. But here's what no one tells you. Kindness, when given without boundaries, is just another form of self-betrayal. Your energy is your currency. Every conversation, every commitment, every interaction, it all costs you something. If you keep handing it out without discernment, you will wake up one day exhausted, resentful, and wondering why you feel so depleted. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your kindness. And if you continue to pour into people who only take, you will find yourself empty with nothing left to give. This is not about becoming cold or selfish. It's about understanding the biology of boundaries, because your body keeps score. Every time you suppress your truth, every time you ignore your own needs to make others comfortable, your nervous system registers it as stress. Your energy drains, your creativity declines, and your emotional state suffers. Your body is literally telling you, this is not where I'm supposed to be, and yet we keep ignoring it because we're afraid of what will happen if we stop complying. That fear, that's part of the program you've been running your entire life, a subconscious script that tells you that if you stop overgiving, you'll lose love, that if you set boundaries, you'll disappoint people, that if you stop being nice to everyone, you'll be alone. But let me ask you, if saying yes to everyone means constantly saying no to yourself, is it really worth it? It's time to break that program. It's time to recognize the difference between kindness and compliance. Kindness is intentional. It is strong. It comes from a place of abundance, not from a need for approval. But compliance is fear in disguise. It's the need to be accepted, the fear of rejection, the belief that your value is tied to how much you give. That is not kindness. That is conditioning. And the moment you see it, you have the power to change it. How do you take your power back? You master your emotional state. You stop letting guilt control you. You stop letting other people's expectations dictate your actions. You stop allowing your peace to be disturbed by those who contribute nothing to it. When you reclaim control over your emotions, you become untouchable. You stop reacting, you start choosing, and you realize that saying no is not cruel. It is the highest form of self-respect. Because here's the truth, not everyone is worthy of your generosity. Your kindness is valuable, your energy is powerful, and when you start being selective about where you invest it, you don't become less kind, you become more effective. The right people will respect you, the right opportunities will align with you, and the right life, the one where you are at peace, empowered, and in control, will unfold before you. So tonight I challenge you, stop being kind to everyone. Choose where your kindness goes. Protect your energy, enforce your boundaries, and most importantly, take your power back.